Welcome to the Carl B. Phillips Show, hosted by gospel music industry veteran, recording artist, songwriter, producer, radio announcer, and actor, Carl B. Phillips. Join Carl as he talks with gospel recording artists, producers, songwriters, pastors, and other creatives about music, ministry, and life. Get ready for another great conversation on the Carl B. Phillips Show.
This week's guest on the Carl B. Phillips Show, American Idol and Sunday Best finalist, Odell Bunton Jr. Welcome to the Carl B. Phillips Show. I am Carl B. Phillips' Uncle Carl. Today's guest is from Dallas, Texas. He's a gospel recording artist, a praise and worship leader, a husband, a father. He's been a contestant on Sunday's Best and American Idol. Please help me welcome my new nephew, Odell Bunton Jr.
What's going on, Uncle? What's going on? So honored to be here. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Oh, man, it's my pleasure. So what I usually do in the interviews is ask some random questions.
Right on.
So the first random question, if you could eliminate one thing from your daily schedule, what would it be and why?
Man, that is a good question. If I could eliminate anything from my daily schedule, it would be if I could get rest without sleeping. I would definitely do that. I like to consider myself a workhorse, so I try to just get so much stuff done, and sometimes I feel like I have so little time. So, if I could be sleepless and still have some energy, I would do that.
Sometimes as creative, I'll often joke, if I could have 30 hours in a day, I could get everything done.
Oh my Lord, that is so, oh my God, that is so revelatory because yes, 24 hours do not seem like enough. It's, oh my, especially with, the position that God has me in now. Mm-hmm. I've been dreaming of this. Thankfully I turned 30. I turned 30 last year, and I have been prophesied this stuff since I was like 6, 7, 8 years old. Wow. So to be walking in the manifestation of the prophecy that's been given and declared over my life since a child, I don't even want to go to sleep. Lord, let me just bask in it as much as I can.
Speaking of ministry, you are currently the worship leader at your parents' church, the International Purpose and Destiny Center.
Yes, sir.
Why do you choose to serve at your parents' church?
I believe that I was called to do ministry with my family. I believe that because they were the first door and the first access to nurturing the gift that God has given me, and they showed me the way. I just feel a connection and a tie to ensure that not only are they able to do that with me, but they're able to do that with other vessels. And I just want to assist in every way that I possibly can. My family's very tight. We're very close. I'm the third child of 5. I'm right in the middle. I often joke about it. I have an older brother, younger brother, older sister, younger sister. So I'm right in the middle. My younger sister went on to be with the Lord. She was our head intercessor. So she started every service off with prayer. My sister, she partakes in the youth department, as well as the music department with myself. My big brother, he's a part of the music department, and he's our bishop. And then my younger brother, he can fit in wherever he can get in. So, so we're tight.
A lot of times, and I might stray a little bit from the questions.
It's all right.
A lot of times when people feel like they arrived, sometimes they forget the serving part. And it seems like you have not forgot to continue to serve.
Oh, yes, sir. And it's a very true thing. Even I'll be my biggest thing in my ministry, which is under the leadership of my father and my mother. I bless God for them. Apostle Odell Bunton Sr. and Apostle Donna L. Bunton. They've kept me grounded because we're big on transparency. So even after American Idol, because of everything that was coming, I started to get even a little sidetracked myself. And it was unintentional, of course. But, due to the schedule picking up, I began to kind of lack a little bit in my home and in my home church. And my parents just did a great job of, not bashing me across the head, but just helping me understand the importance of priority. The Bible declares that everything that we do must be done in decency and in order. So,
Right.
I could put the cart before the horse, and if my first works aren't done, then God is not going to bless what I'm trying to aspire to do. So I just try my best to stay as grounded and rooted as I possibly can. I mean, it's life. When you think about your roots, it's a tree. It's life source, so, or any plant. It's this life sources in the roots. So, I mean, if I want to stay alive, I got to stay connected.
So you talked a little bit about your parents.
Yes.
Talk a little bit more about the impact your parents have had on your life.
Man, just my mom started teaching me how to sing at a very, very early age. And even before that, I'm a PK. So I mean, at 5 years old, I was fasting and praying. I was up at 5 in the morning with my siblings. We over here wiping the crust out of our eyes. But they have played the biggest part and the biggest role in nurturing me and keeping me rooted, keeping me grounded, keeping me in the place of understanding what's important
Mm.
and what's to come. And I mean, I wouldn't even, a lot of times people are like, I love your ministry. I love your ministry. I'm just a reflection of my father and my mother. So, I've just been able to soak up everything because they're very hands-on. That's one thing one thing that I love, excuse me, about our ministry. We're a small church here in Dallas. So, well,
Mm.
we're in Grand Prairie, but we're a small church and we like to consider ourselves a big family. And
Mm.
so they're very, very influential in the lives of me and many, many others. And, as long as I stay submitted, I believe that I'll be all right. But I wouldn't be nothing without my parents.
I saw something online. I think it might have been during your Sunday best, and somebody said, Your mama's over there. Have your mama
Yeah.
say,
Yeah, sir. So a funny story about Sunday Best. So I auditioned for Sunday Best when I was 16. I didn't know about the first time I auditioned when I was 16. I didn't know about an age requirement or anything like that. I just finally saw like the Gospel American Idol. I was like, yes. So I want to do this. And I had my mom, bless her heart, my whole family. I made them drive me out to Houston and we auditioned. No, I apologize. We were in Dallas that time. It was at the
Mm.
Potter's house. And we went out to Dallas and we auditioned. And because of my age, so you got rounds you have to go through. And so I got to the third round and everything, got to the celebrity judges, but unfortunately, because of my age, I wasn't able to move on with the show. But through those rounds, I made my mom audition with me. Because my mom has this thing, and I said this here recently on Kirk Franklin's Praise on Sirius XM. My mom has this thing of, Odell, I passed you the torch. I passed y'all the torch. And I'm grateful for that to an extent, but I cannot let my mother, I can't let her dream die. So I say,
Right.
Mom, you got to come on. You got to come on. So I'm just as much of her cheerleader as she is of mine. So we got to this round with Jamal Murray and some other celebrity judges. And my mom is just blazing through these rounds. And they looked at me and they was like, is that your son? Because I'm back there while she's singing. I'm just, go, Mom, go. And I was like, no etiquette at all, none at all. And it's just, my mom, man, she's my favorite singer, my absolute favorite singer. So any chance I get to share a platform with her, I'm going to do it for sure.
Wow. And she can sing.
Yeah, Lord, she sang you under the pews for sure, for sure.
So, maybe there's going to be a duet in the future.
Oh yeah, we're working on a song right now. We have a song called "Leave This World Behind" that I cannot wait. I cannot wait. So God has brought us, and please stop me if I'm rambling on too much. But God has brought us my family, because my whole family sings. The only person in my family that does not sing is my father, unfortunately, but he could preach you crazy. But my mom, my family, we have really been blessed by American Idol, man. It has created such an avenue and a lane for us to be able to do things musically that we've dreamt of for years. So
Wow.
we're excited to be able to release a record called "Leave This World Behind." Gonna have my mama on there. Lord, I'm just gonna try to keep it together.
Speaking of family,
Yes, sir.
how did you meet your wife?
Man, so I met my wife, my older sister, and my wife's older brother actually got together before we did.
Hmm.
And her brother, my wife's brother, came and he started to play drums for our church. And in an act of evangelism, as you would say, he invited his family. And ever since then, I was like, yep, that's the one. So we met during a revival, I believe, so at church.
Oh, okay. So when you saw her, how did you like walk up to her like, hi,
Oh, yeah. So, like,
did you sing something like, I'm Odell, let me sing to you?
Well, thankfully, I was able to have a little juice from Sunday Best, so she kind of knew who I was already. But my mother has a saying. She says, "It's sweet when God do it." And I had been in relationships prior to her, but around the time that me and her began to talk, I had took. Please excuse my babies back there if you can hear them. I'm sorry.
Oh,
They're out
fine.
there running around. But my mom said it's sweet when God do it. I had been in relationships prior to her. And at the time that we met, I was done in relationships for a little while. I was taking a little break. And she just lit the room up. And I knew by the way that she looked at me and I looked at her, that it was something special there. And, conversation kicked up. Again, thankfully, she kind of knew my reputation a bit, so I had a little juice to be like, and we just
sometimes it's complicated because when you're in ministry, especially as a singer, people fall in love with the singer. How did you know that she was in love with you as a person?
Man, so and then just being in a position, that's a great question. Just being in a position of transparency around that time, I still had a little bit of buzz from Sunday Best, but it was kind of, just decreasing throughout, time just progressing. And, of course she knew of the show and everything, but I was able to, through some hard life experiences, I was able to see that, with or without the mic, she was intrigued and she was, interested in getting to know me as a person, getting to know, my downfalls, getting to know my flaws, getting to know my human side, getting to know the entertainer, getting to know the worshiper, the songwriter, the PK, the preacher's kid, the preacher. She took time to dive into every facet of my life. And it was sometimes where we didn't even bring the music up. And it would be hours on the phone, just talking and communing, and me being able to really, really let my guard down. So I'm grateful for her.
It kind of reminds me of Michael Jackson on the phone in the dark. Do you remember the time?
No, for real. It was something that was so refreshing for me. I'm just so grateful for my wife. It was refreshing for sure.
What does it mean to have a wife who supports your dreams?
It means that you can, to me, it means that you can do this at full capacity. And, I've known of some relationships where it has interfered with a man or a woman's occupation. And I'm just grateful unto God that, she sees my vision. She supports my vision. She pushes me even when I don't push myself. She lets me know that, that I'm worthy even when I feel inadequate. She believes in what God has given unto me. So it means everything in the world because I'm able to keep going. I'm able to stay ever encouraged. And, somebody out there needs the message at times when I don't want to give it. And because of her, I've been able to be a conduit for the Spirit and just freely give.
Now, we talked a little bit earlier about your mom-in-law, your
Yes,
mom-in-law. Now, I've heard of stage moms, but I never heard of a stage mother-in-law.
Yeah, she owns
Talk
it down.
about your relationship with Sister Katrina.
Man, I call her OG. That's OG. So we have a relationship. We have gotten so close over the years, and she's become another source of strength for me. And at times where even with me and my mother, where every relationship has their ups and downs. And at a time where me and my mother were at a down moment in our relationship, she stepped in and she was able to say, "Hey, stay focused. God has given you something special. Just stay diligent with it." And she's very practical. She's very practical. She's someone who gives life lessons and, she's older than I am, so she's able to give me some jewels and give me some nuggets that are able to help me kind of avoid some things, if I let it, of course. But she's just been a someone of wise counsel for me. She's been someone who's been supportive of me. She's been someone who keeps me relaxed and keep me at a place of just, when everything can get kind of tense and everything can get anxiety kind of comes in. She helps bring me back to reality and keep me in a place of just, hey, stay relaxed.
And she gonna make you laugh too.
Oh my God! If she ain't cracking a joke on you, gotta stay on your toes with the jokes for Mama Smith for sure.
You also have 5 children.
Yes, sir.
So you want to keep up with your parents, huh?
Yes, sir.
Y'all did 5, we did 5.
It's the thing. I'm Odell Jr. I got to keep things going. I often joke about it. I say to a lot of people, me and my wife have contributed to society. There are no more. We have
Although we come to the end,
having
children.
I got the 5-fold ministry with me. So.
What does being a father mean to you?
Oh my Lord, I tell you, the second I became a father, I began to breathe totally differently. Just air became different, and it does so many things. It puts you in a place of, motivation. Like, hey, I have someone depending on me that can't, fend for themselves, can't decipher right or wrong, can't instill within themselves principles and morals. So you have that responsibility, but then you also have, the joy of watching a part of you grow and develop in their own way while still, holding your traits and things of that nature. And it's just a joy to see them grow up and develop and mature. They're so mature for their ages. And I mean, they keep me on my toes. They keep me laughing. They crack me. My kids are crazy. They keep me rolling, but also they help me see, how selfish I can be and the things that I need to work on within myself at all times. They show me where I thought I was at a place, but I'm just a tad bit short and I got some work to do. So they show me, the level of patience that I have to get to. They show me the level of diligence that I have to get to. And I'm just grateful for everything and every lesson that they've taught me. They've been on this journey with me, and they've been a source of encouragement for me when I've wanted to give up many times. And so, when I'm feeling down, when I'm feeling low, I just look at them. I just look at them and it's a second wind. So, I mean, they're my life. They're everything to me.
When your kids see you, what image do you want them to see in you?
The image that I pray for mostly for them to see is a vessel that is not perfect, but that will always try. I will always give my best effort. I try to emulate the heart of David in front of my children, the best of my abilities. You're not going to see daddy make 100 every time, but you are a source of motivation for me to keep trying and keep going. A lot of times we pray over our children, and scripture that we love to quote is the race is not given to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, but it's to the one that can endure to the end. If you just endure, hold on to God's unchanging hand. It's not going to be pretty all the time. It's going to be rough. It's going to be tough. You're going to want to give up. You're going to want to give up.
Right.
Life itself has an assigned fire that will try you. The Bible declares that every man's work must be tried by fire to prove what sort it is. So whatever it is that God has placed you on the earth to do, you say, God created me to do this. Know that you're going to be tried by fire to prove, okay, God really did put me on the earth to do this. And as long as you stick with him, as long as you stay with him, you're going to be all right. So I just try to, I try to promote the image of, trying.
And I think that's important because a lot of times, like I came from the generation, do as I say, not as I do.
Man.
That's the boomer generation.
No, it trickled down to the millennials, the Gen Zs, X, all of them. It's that is man, because I tell you, just again, being in a place, and I hope with me being in a place of transparency that it ministers to someone. That was a way of life I was walking in for a couple of years, and it penetrated me. It took me some experiences of them seeing me and them truly being affected. For me to see that, it's not by my words, it's by the example and the actions that I lead by.
Wow. Let's do another random question.
Yes, sir.
If you could have any animal, real or imaginary, as a pet, what would it be?
Man, it's so basic, but I love dogs. My kids are literally. It's funny you said that. My children are bugging me so bad right now, and my wife. They want a dog so bad, and I'm like, Lord, I know I'm gonna be the one that's maintaining and maintaining this dog. Lord have mercy, Jesus. So it's just funny that you say that because dogs are loyal, man. They're
Yeah.
they're part of your family. They have such a charisma about them. They have character. Growing up as a child, we had our fair share of dogs, and it's hard when one passes away. I had a couple of them pass away. That's another thing kind of keeping me from it. Because, man, I'm telling you, it hits me like a Mack truck because I get so attached. I get so attached. And so, I would have a dog. Again, it's loyal, it's funny, it becomes a part of your family. It becomes another baby.
So if you were to get a dog, what would you name it?
Man, I think I'd name him Zeus, or something with some strength. So,
Come here, Zeus.
Go ahead, Zeus. You know what? I don't want to talk to nobody. Come on, Zeus. Let's go outside. I want something that's going to keep me in the place of just staying strong, keeping it together.
Let's talk a little bit more about music.
Yes, sir.
2014, you released the single Beautiful.
Yeah.
Tell the story behind recording your first single.
Man, I have been, so the story behind that is it's funny, man. Me and my brother, so I had been recording music since I was 13 years old. However, I didn't release any music until I was 18, until 2014. And part of it played because it wasn't a lot of distro wasn't the way it was when I was 13. It was still like we were burning CDs and put stuff on CDs and selling all those CDs after church outside the trunk. So time and technology played a part in it. But I've been recording music since I was 13, and so at that time I felt like even though this was the beginning of it was like the debut of me coming out to the world. I felt like, I just got solidified even the more. And okay, Lord, I'm supposed to do this because, again, I had been recording since I was 13. And then the writing process, my big brother, shout out to my big brother, Matthew Bunton. He was like the heavy writer for us. We had a family group, the Buntons, me and my siblings. And we had a couple songs that I think I'm gonna revisit some of these songs that aren't released at all, and I listen back to them and I cringe up so bad because I'm like, Lord, what was I doing? Why did you do that? Why was that your placement with your run? And what kind of run was that? No, but my brother was we relied on him heavily, so he wrote Beautiful. I kind of helped him out with a few words, but he mainly wrote Beautiful, and we put it out as a family. It's still up on distribution platforms. It's still blessing people. I kind of I get taken back when people mention Beautiful because it's been so long, and so I still have at some shows some people come to me like, hey, I love Beautiful. I love Talk to Me. And I'm like, oh my Lord, that was so long ago. So I just bless God that, this is my thing. I look back on the people that I admire when it comes to the artists that I admire and what they're able to do with time and music. And, in my own little way, it's kind of timeless music. So I take that with great pride.
So you talked about the family recording.
Yes.
I was introduced to your music in 2020 when your family released a single, As We Pray. And you know who I
Man.
got it from. Your
Yeah,
mother-in-law.
I already know. OG. Shout out to OG.
What was it like to put a single out with your family?
Man, interesting thing about that record, we lost my sister immediately after that record. So that was the last record that my little sister was a part of, and I wrote that song while I was in college,
Mm.
and I didn't really think much of it. At the time, I didn't think I would even record it
Mm.
ever. And so, she was the one, and my mother and my family all together were the ones that kind of helped me believe in that record. And, putting that out as a family, anything that I release for my family. And that's another thing, I'm kind of jumping, but that's another thing. Like, I'm grateful to God that just because I did American Idol and just because I have some independent music that's coming out and things of that nature, that I'm still, connected to my family. That doesn't mean that we have to stop releasing family music. And so As We Pray is definitely it's my baby, one of my babies. Because again, I wrote that song, beautiful, and all the older stuff my brother kind of wrote. So that was my first song that I released. And I have great pride in it. I listen to it a lot. It ministers unto me. I really didn't know what I was writing at the time, but listening to it and thinking about, where God had me and where I was at when he gave me this song, it's just, full circle moment at times.
You've talked a little bit about Sunday Best. You were a contestant on season 6 of Sunday
Yes.
Best. What were some of your highlights of being on Sunday Best?
Man, big shout out to Pastor William McDowell. I guess my top song or outstanding performance on that show was "Give Myself Away," and that song took me across the world. So again, big shout out to Pastor William McDowell. He actually reached out to me on Twitter whenever it was aired and just kind of gave me his stamp of approval and thumbs up, which meant the world to me. Anytime that I do a song, especially that's not my own, I try to make sure that I honor who either wrote it or produced it or released it or who's responsible for bringing it into the world. I try my best to honor them. So to have his stamp of approval meant the world to me. But just the highlight really to me was the whole entire experience. It opened me up to a whole new world. It taught me, how to groom myself, how to prepare myself in the best way for particular stages. At the end of the day, this is it's a ministry, but it's a business also. So I'm grateful for the people over at BET, Kirk Franklin, everybody that played a major role in my career. So it gave me the starting point to a career, a real career.
So after that, 2024,
yes, sir.
This call from your mother-in-law. My son-in-law gonna be on American Idol. You gotta watch.
It was crazy. It was crazy. It was the way that it all came about was just, it was mind blowing to me. So in between the time of Sunday Best and American Idol, it had been 10 years since I had graced television. And so, in between that time, I'm having children, I'm married, I get married, I'm leading a new life now. So I kind of put music on the back burner a little bit and was mainly focusing and honing in on trying to be a provider, be the best father I could possibly be, and be present, because that's what I know. That's what I came from. My father has always been a very present source in my life and a very, very present help in my life. And so I wanted to emulate that to the best of my ability. So music started to kind of take a back seat. And I'm at work, and it was the same year that the opportunity presented itself. A few months before that, I said, okay, you know what? My kids are a little older. My older three are in school now, so I can kind of get back into the music a little bit. And I said, Lord, I really want to do this. I really want to, reach a certain level with this. And I do want to bring your name glory. By all means, I don't want to take any of your praise, but I have a dream. I've dreamt about this since I was a child. And I said, okay, Lord, give me a year. And I told everybody around me. I said, give me a year. I bet you I'm gonna do something with this music. And I'm at work, and so those months prior to the call, I started going back and forth to Houston, and I started traveling back and forth to Houston, singing at different places, and starting to capture content and put it up on my social sites. And an executive producer, excuse me, by the name of Peter Cohen. Shout out to Peter Cohen. He changed my life. He reached out to me via email, and at first I thought it was fake. He was like, "Hey man, I want to get you to audition for this show. Have you ever thought about auditioning for American Idol?" I'm like, "Yeah, whatever." So I tell my big brother, big shout out to Matthew again. I tell my big brother, I'm like, "Man, call this number." He's my man. He's a part of my management team now. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, "Man, call this number, man. See if this thing is real." He called over to Mr. Cohen, and sure enough, it was real. He called me back so fast. He was like, "Odell, man, it's real, man. You need to call this man." And I'm at work, and I'm working overnight. I'm like, I don't know if this man is woke or not. I think it's like 1 or 2 in the morning. And so I'm like, all right. He said, call him. I just got off the phone with him. So I called him, and sure enough, he was like, "Hey, man, I've been watching you." I released a single called "Look at Me Now." By Faith. I released it, and I was like, that was in the midst of me saying, give me a year and I'm gonna do this. And he was like, "Man, I've been following you for years." He had been following me since Sunday Best. Mm-hmm. And he was like, "I loved him." He started pulling out the music I released, and I was like, "Oh my God, that's crazy." It was at the time where I was like kind of becoming content with, maybe this is not meant to be. But then it hit me. It came right when I said, "Lord, give me a year," and I focused in. And, he was like, "I love your music. I love what you're doing. Listen," at the time I was 28. He said, "You're 28. That's the show's age limit. And I want to get you in while we can. Let's get you to audition. Let's get you out here to Nashville." And just everything about American Idol was a miracle to me because I was the oldest male contestant there. And I was at a place where, it was a one and done. It's a lot of times those type of shows, as contestants, they come on and they might those that get eliminated might come back the following year or a year after some time of development. And it was just one and done for me. So it was so prophetic for me because, again, this is my only shot at it. God blessed us to receive the platinum ticket, which advanced us around and advanced us through Hollywood Week. And, it's just God's stamp of saying, "Hey, I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm giving you the strength to do that." And again, I lost my sister, so I joke a lot and I say she up there getting on God's nerves. She up there bugging him, boy. And just God began to just really move in my life. So everything about it was just a miracle.
So one of the things that amazed me as I was watching it, sang a Sam Cooke song.
Yes, sir.
Like, you ain't even old enough to know about Sam Cooke.
And that's funny. My mother-in-law, we joke a lot about it. I tell her all the time, I look young, but I was really born in the 60s. But my father, man, my dad, that's all I grew up on. I grew up on Johnny Taylor, old Johnny Taylor, SAR Records, Johnny Taylor, underneath Sam Cooke, and Bobby Womack when he was with his group. When they first dropped, "I'm Looking for Love," and the Ohio Players, and Sly and the Family Stone. And I grew up on old school. I'm an old soul. I call people Jack and Jive Turkey and Cats. I'm a young man, but I'm an old soul. And so what was special about that was Sam Cooke's estate actually reached out to me after that rendition of Bring It On Home to Me, and that meant the entire world. He is a huge influence on my musicality. So, it meant a lot. It meant everything in the world.
What are some of your takeaways from being on American Idol?
Some of my takeaways, a lot of people like to hear me sing Sam Cooke because even after that, I've had some engagements, and I've had some experiences where they were leaning heavy on, old school soul music. And it just let me know, like, I got this thing, and it's kind of not exclusive, but it's exclusive to me because I feel like people probably already feel like the genre is out. But I joke a lot. I say, I'm going to make a gospel blues genre. like gospel blues genre, because that's my sound. I'm big. I'm soul. I love CCM. I love country music. I love all kinds of music. But I'm soul and I'm gospel to the core. And so I'm an old soul. I love that music from that time. And takeaways from American Idol is, God will make room for you in places that I've gone places and I've sang places I didn't think I would even sing after American Idol. I'm thinking it's just I'm going to be at churches and stuff, and I'm doing charity events, and I'm doing mayor's balls and singing with the symphony here in Dallas. So it's crazy.
Wait a minute, singing at the Mavericks games.
Yeah, right. A Sam Cooke song at the Mavericks game.
I don't know if you saw something that Jermaine Dupri said recently. He said the one thing that's missing from R&B is church singers.
Wow, man, no, that I believe that to be true, because I mean, look at it used to be that thing, but I think about like Aretha Franklin and Luther Vandross and Whitney Houston. Those church roots were just coming through strong no matter what, and R&B has definitely veered a bit away from that.
So are you aware of the album that Marvin Sapp's about to drop?
I am aware. I'm not too aware, because God has been moving crazy in our lives, but he's in Fort Worth. He's not too far away, so we keep in touch pretty often.
If I were an R&B singer, this is what it would sound like.
Oh man, I gotta check that. I gotta check it out.
I think it comes. I think it drops Valentine's Day.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So he's doing an R&B album.
Wow, I gotta check that out. I gotta check that out. I think Jay Moss did something like that too. He did like grown folks gospel or something like that.
Grown folks gospel.
Yeah.
Fred Hammond did something
Fred
like
Hammond.
that.
Even David and Tamala Mann came out with the Love Project, which was so incredibly dope to me.
So you could start that for your generation of singers.
Hey man, you might. I might have to put your payroll. I might put your payroll on. Yes.
Okay, from participating in American Idol, there seems to be a bond between you and fellow contestants Roman Collins and Quantavious Johnson. Talk about the brotherhood between the three of you.
Oh my Lord, I won't lie to you. I wish they were on this podcast with me, man. They are my brothers. They have become. So okay, I say it. So the show over. So anyway, we was on American Idol, and God used, and a shout out to Justice Murphy also. She was a contestant on the show. But God allowed us to be a core group of really strong believers. And we're young cats. We're young. But that Quantavious Johnson is a prophet that can see through muddy water. And that Roman Collins, God blessed us to be able to lead worship at Promise Keepers out here in Oklahoma last year. And I mean, that guy is a worshiper after God's own heart. And I'm just thankful for the brotherhood and the bond that has been created from that, because, those are some outsources of encouragement for me when I feel down, and sometimes my family may not be able to get through to me, or my immediate family, my mother, my father, my siblings, or my wife and my children and my mother-in-law. If they're not able to get to me, they have been a source of strength for me to say, hey, because after a show like American Idol, the anxiety that comes, it is, oh my Lord, it is massive. And they have been a particular source of strength and of grounding for me that I couldn't repay them with all the money in the world. I'm so proud of them. Quantavious, he just released a cover to That's My King, which is doing absolutely great. He's also just popping up with different people, and I'm just so grateful to see him blossom and grow. And I'm also grateful with my brother Roman. He just did a Christmas tour with CeCe Winans, and just tore the house down. And we have a single, Burn It Away. That was
speaking of R&B.
Right. Yeah, brought that good R&B back. Tried to honor commission the best way we could. But man, no, that record, which thank you so much for even putting it on your radio station. It had the opportunity to grace your platform, and we thank you for that. But I mean, just to be able to, we joked about it during the show. We're going to release some music together. But I mean, just to be able to see that manifest in the earth realm. But what I was going to say about the show, we were laying hands, literally.
Wow.
We were literally laying hands, pushing people into their purpose, into their calling, helping people who had strayed away from God. We had agnostic atheists give their life back to Christ. We had producers from the show that had got kind of overwhelmed with their own lifestyles and what the show could bring, and that just wanted to be closer to God. We were able to be that strength and that conduit and portal for them to be able to reestablish their relationship with Christ. So it meant so much because I was able to have brothers and develop a brotherhood with like in all degrees, musicality, creativity. We was in each other's rooms during the show, just going crazy, singing songs all the time. And every time a word was coming, it didn't matter where we was at, a word of encouragement, a prophetic word was coming. So I love those guys with all of my heart. Those are my brothers for sure.
So when the show was over, your mother-in-law calls me. She says, my son-in-law singing with Maverick City. I'm like, do you know who Maverick City is? No, I don't know who they are.
See, I'm telling you, I got to put her on payroll, man. That woman has been a part of PR without even a title.
So talk about the song that you did with Maverick City and Nick Day, You Are Mighty. How did that happen for you?
Man. First of all, shout out to the original songwriters and original artists of the song. And I bless God for their blessing and their go ahead to be able to grace that. But after that, after American Idol, it blew my mind out. I had performed a Maverick City song, which was my last song. It was Wait on You by Maverick City. And immediately after I was eliminated, I'm on my way to the airport to go home. And I see them tag me in a reel. And I'm like, whoa, hold on, this is Maverick City. Hold on, wait a minute now. And, even from that point on, I got to give a big shout out to the entire Tribal Records team in Maverick City. Adair McAndrew, Christian Reddle, EJ Gaines, Ron Hill, John Norman, man, everybody. They just reached out and were another source of strength, ensuring me that, hey, this is what I was supposed to do, because we immediately began to collaborate on You Are Mighty. The song itself is a powerful, powerful song. I love the words. I'm just honored to even be considered to sing it, redistribute it, and put it out to the world in a different way that maybe some young guns can grab a hold to it. It was received very well. We just hit 1 million plays on plays on YouTube. Wow. And so I'm just grateful for that. I'm grateful that God is touching it. And it opened the door to some really, really great opportunities. So I'm honored. Blew my mind.
So talking about opportunities, sound like it's time for you to testify about your new single.
I love that. Yes, sir, man. I tell you, this entire journey has been a testimony. And man, my prayer, my real deal prayer is that the Lord allows me to come from a real place with the music that He's given me, and be able to touch and heal and mend some of His people. I just being transparent, I hit a patch in my life where I totally left God. I totally left the church. I left God. I got addicted to drugs. I got addicted to alcohol, and that's when the spirit of depression entered into my life. And so, it's been a battle with depression and things of that nature. So hopefully I could be a conduit of encouragement for that particular topic. But this song, Testify, it's my life. It is my life in an upbeat way. I'm super, super honored, super grateful. We signed with Tribal Records, which is the record label that Maverick City is on, and Tasha Cobbs Leonard and Todd and a lot of people. a lot of big name people. And so just to be in the number, grateful. I'm so honored. It blew my mind. I finally got to a place where I can talk about it without crying, because it's been my dream to, sign to a label. I won't lie. It's been my dream to sign to a label. I'm not nothing against independent artists and the independent route. That's the route I was on before God opened this door. But through their help, we were able to package together something, and I'm excited about it. It drops February 28th. All digital platforms, and I can't wait. I've been teasing it as much as I possibly can, and they've been doing a great job with collaborating with me on it.
Okay,
So I pray that it blesses.
I'm gonna put you on the spot. Sing one line of the song.
Oh, okay. So the first verse says, I was the sinner from the bottom. I felt like giving up, but I was saved by grace, and God had mercy on me, and He placed His favor on me. I should have been dead a long time ago from so many lies I told and crimes I committed against the law of life. But through it all, I had a friend to call on in the Lord.
Okay. We good. I'm already getting my 99 cent ready.
I love it. I pray it blesses everybody. I can't wait to drop it. I'm excited.
Who are some of the people you worked with on the single?
Absolutely. So I was able to, man. So this particular song, "Testify," was a song submission by a wonderful young man by the name of Rayshad. He's on Instagram. Rayshad, he's a great. We've been able to develop a big brother, little brother type of relationship with it. And man, that guy, he runs my blood pressure up when he's saying, "I'm talking about scared." And he sent over the song, and it just resonated with me. So big shout outs to Rashad. Big shout outs to Lord, the name is slipping me. I'm so sorry. Man, it's another writer, and I'm gonna get his name. Matter of fact, when it comes out, I'll tag him with it. But he was a writer and producer on it as well. I've been working with quite a few people, quite a few producers. We got another song in the works by my brother Sean Keys on Instagram, entitled the name. The name of the song is entitled "Goodness and Mercy," and man, I'm excited to release that as well. So God has been opening the doors for me to work with some really great producers. Shout out to my guy Brandon Williams. That's my guy. I was able to connect with him in California. He's helped me with some records. Shout out to my guy Dale Anthony out of California. He actually put me on one of his records entitled "Miracles," which is on all digital platforms, and that song is incredible. "Miracles," again, by the artist Dale Anthony. He's a wonderful songwriter, wonderful producer, helped me really kind of take myself serious. So, I mean, it's just so many people.
So you almost answered my next question. What's next for Odell?
Oh man, what's next for Odell is just remaining open to whatever the Lord wants me to do. I want to get into acting. I feel like I can do it. So I'll put that out in the atmosphere, and I'm praying upon that. But I was able to do a stage play. Matter of fact, I was able to do a stage play in 2014, after Sunday Best. Praise the Lord for Mo Latte Productions. They put on a play called "When the Church Doors Close." That was my first stage play. We traveled doing that play, so I was really excited about that. But I want to get back into acting, so hopefully you see back on the screen. This time, not singing. No, I'm playing. But also just really amping up and gearing up to release this album. Hopefully tour. Hopefully, I just want all the works. I want the whole shebang.
Wow, man, I have enjoyed speaking with you tonight, my new nephew.
Yes, sir. The pleasure has been all mine. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
How can people reach you, and how can they follow you on social media, and how can they get your music when it comes out?
Absolutely. So on all social sites, you can follow me and connect with me at Odell B. Jr. Official. Odell B. Jr. Official. That's on all social sites. I also have a website up now. Praise the Lord. Odell Bunton Jr. Official.com. Again, that's Odell Bunton Jr. Official.com. Please check it out. You'll be able to keep up with news, updates, shows, things of that nature, new music coming out. Also, I have an email, email. You can email us at legacymusic2024@gmail.com. And you can reach out if we want to come fellowship and worship with you all. So please reach out and book us, and we would love to come and be a part. Because a big thing with me is whenever I go anywhere, they're not booking an artist, they're booking a minister. I'm there to worship with you. So, we're going to make it intimate for sure. But again, that's legacymusic2024@gmail.com. Also, the album is called Recovery Mode. That's gearing up and getting ready to be released. We got Testify coming out. I got, again, with my family, which is LMG Legacy Music Group, we have a single entitled Yes to Your Will, getting ready to come out the 21st. So I'm excited about that. But yeah, you can keep in touch with me on Odell B. Jr. Official. Reach out.
So as we get ready to wrap up, you said something about how you were in a really dark space right before the daylight broke for you.
Yes.
Speak to someone who may have given up on their dreams of doing music and in that space of where it's over for me.
Yeah.
Speak to why it's important to never stop.
Man, I tell you, to whoever is listening, it is important to never stop because, one, God is not going to show you something and give you a dream and give you a passion for the dream and it not come to pass. The Bible declares that he is not a man that he should lie, neither the son of man that he should repent. If he said it, he's going to do it. And the world needs what you have. You were born for a reason. You graced this atmosphere, this earth for a reason. God chose you. God put his hand on you. God stamped you. God deemed you worthy, and he'll never, ever leave you. The Bible declares that he is acquainted. We serve a God that is acquainted with our griefs. So he knows when you're down. He knows when you stop believing in yourself. And guess what? He's still right there. I want to encourage you. You're looking at a man, you're hearing a man that laid in the middle of the street and waited for cars to come and hit him. The spirit of suicide hit me. But if I allowed the devil to take me out of here, American Idol wouldn't have come. You Almighty wouldn't have come. Yes to Your Will wouldn't have been on the way. Testify wouldn't have been on the way. We wouldn't have been able to do AIM and do a rendition of Jesus Saves by the incomparable Marvin Winans. And God has a plan for you. I know it's dark. I know it's hard. I know you want to give up. And that's your human side. But the good thing is God didn't just make us human. We got spirit too. So whenever you want to give up, just tap into that spirit and lean in to God even more. He's there. He's always there. He'll never leave us. He'll never forsake us. He'll walk through that valley of the shadow of death with you, and he's with you always, always.
Now, see, if I was in church right now, I'll be running around and had to get a nurse to get me off the floor because I'll be out. Like, oh God, no, Lord, you just preached the word right there, nephew.
So I appreciate that. It was a wonderful moment, though. Thank you for that because that's my heart. Above all, I want my message to be, hey, this is somebody that has been where you are, and I'm still battling. It's a battle every day. We have to wake up and say, you know what, Lord, I choose you every day. Every day. It gets hard even for me, with the journey, with this music thing, not only music, with me preaching, with the message, with me preaching, with the message that God has given me. It takes a diligence. It takes a willpower. And we're only going to get that strength through Jesus Christ. Only going to get that through Jesus.
Wow. Odell Bunton Jr., man, it's been a pleasure talking with you. And shout out to your wife, to the kids, to your mother-in-law.
Yeah. Oh, man,
put her on your payroll.
Yes, but I gotta put her. She's on PR right now. It's known she's on PR. But I tell you, thank you. I got so much love for you.
I like to close all my shows by saying this. Remember to work like you don't need the money, love like you've never been hurt, and dance like no one's watching you. And go get Testify.
Yes, sir.
Odell Bunton Jr. God bless you, man of God. It's been my pleasure hanging out with you and talking with you. Looking forward to just jamming to that new single.
I can't wait. I can't wait to come back.
Most definitely. May have to get the three of you back, like you said.
Yes, no. If we can do that, I would love for that to happen. Those are my guys. I would love for that to happen.
All right, peace.
The Carl B. Phillips Show is produced by Carl B. Phillips for Prove Me Productions. For more information about Carl B. Phillips, visit carlbphillips.com. Subscribe to The Carl B. Phillips Show on YouTube or your favorite podcast outlet.